So we're welcoming all the participants back from wherever you are seeing us, whether it is YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or any other social media platform. In this final segment, before receiving the darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we are going through the glimpses of the glorious past on the 8th January. So in this segment, we will go through the various activities and different forms of contributions that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has offered to the world since he started his public life. So get ready to go through the years and see the various activities which the Sri Kailasa nation has been offering to the world in order to restore the science of enlightenment given in the Vedas and Agamas in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. So without further ado, let us jump in to the first year. In the year 2005, on the 8th of January, we will see a short video. This is an excerpt from the Atmas Purana convention conducted on the 8th of January 2005 in Bidadi, Bangalore, India. Here, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gives a simple yet powerful solutions on various topics and questions on how to experience enlightenment, how to experience enlightened living in this lifetime. So let's have a listen to this video.
Sanskrit, they have done a great disservice. I was a little surprised because it goes very much anti-popular.
But I just...
And you use very strong words. You did disservice. I was very scared.
No, the truth has to be told. You see, can you read Tirukkural in English? You can understand what Vallur wants to say, but you can never understand the juice. The same way, how can you read mantras in Tamil? Tell me. It has got its own vibration. You understand? Mantras are not linguistic. They are sounds. What is the other word? Phonetic. They are phonetic, not linguistic. If it's a linguistic, prose can be translated. All prose literature is linguistic, can be translated. All poems are phonetic. That cannot be translated. How can you translate? It's from heart to heart. It can never be translated. This guy should understand what to do.
And likewise, numerology, gemology, and all that you blasted. I worried.
Enough. If you believe stones, only you will be nothing more than a stone. Actually, originally there is a little bit of scientific truth in Vastu. But these guys have added too much of rules, and just like a contract between doctors and medical shops, it has become a contract between the civil engineers and the Vastu guys. It has become a contract. If you spend 10 lakh for building a house, to redo they ask for 15 lakhs. That's why I say don't bother.
All these truths were told to Ramakrishna Vivekananda's disciples also, like you tell us and teach.
No.
It was not told to God. Because we are so lost completely. If I would look at myself.
No. Again, when an enlightened master opens up, only then all these things lands.
Otherwise, again it's all quite.
Again and again this knowledge is forgotten. In the 9th chapter of Gita, Krishna says, Raja Vidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Again, it's the greatest secret and it's the greatest Vidya. Again and again, we lose this knowledge.
Why it happens?
Naturally, there is nobody to carry the torch. How many will dedicate their life to carry the torch?
And without without the enlightened master, all these books also convey no meaning at all.
No meaning, just confusion. Just confusion, nothing else. Without master, simply confusion.
Swami Madhavan should come for this Himalayan trip. The Upanishad became alive for us, not just book.
I started speaking on 3 Upanishads.
I understood Upanishads only after I came to you. I had 2 big collections which were gathering dust.
Just keep under the pillows.
Now I am reading one book in a night. The level of understanding is there. Before nothing.
Actually, when that's what, when the Guru blesses you, all the knowledge comes just like it comes to you. And actually, in this one diagram, I put all the zigzag puzzles have fallen in one line. Over. The same concept is explained in Taittiriya Upanishad. Annamayam, and all the 5 koshas. Annam na jat, nabhya janat, annam na ninjat, tat pratam. Then about the 5 koshas, there are beautiful mantras. I'll chant after there is a long mantra which actually, it starts with one trend. Anandam vyajaneti. It starts like a don't waste, don't miss it. Something like that. The 5 koshas are explained. Actually, it is such a complicated meaning. That's why I didn't even keep the mantra track of the mantra. So if you read the original mantras, you will only be a little more confusion. Nothing else. You will not be able to understand much. But when it comes to like this straight, now if you read the mantra, naturally, everything will fall in line. Everything will fall in tune.
How should we read actually?
Annam brahmeti navyajanat. Annat bhutani jatani jivanti, something like that it goes. Then pranam brahmeti, pranat, something like that. All the 5 steps they go around.
How should we read it, Swami? First the Sanskrit and Tamil, and then the translation. Both we should read.
Yes.
And never try to by heart anything.
Yes. Never try to by heart. Just whatever is supposed to be by heart, it will be there in you. And whatever is supposed to be forgotten. You see, now I forgot this mantra. I don't bother about it. Let it be forgotten. If it is necessary, let it stay. Otherwise, don't accumulate unnecessary memories. If you accumulate unnecessary memories, you will not be able to remember what you are supposed to remember.
Is there a simple way that you can explain how the nexus between the 5 sheets and the 7 layers of the realms?
Same thing yesterday I explained. I think you slept. And from 0 TPS to 100 TPS, if you make it as 5, it's Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manamaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya Kosha. If from 0 to 100, if you make it as 7 portion, 7 bodies, over. One and the same. 100 by 7, how many percentage it comes? 13. 7 bodies. 20. 5 bodies, over. Same thing. Simply the same thing. In that we cleansed and inserted. In this you are working. Inserting the consciousness, awareness. Don't think in one instance we can become enlightened. In that I am helping you to leave the body with consciousness. It's only for death, this for living. Here I am trying to give you a resort. Even at the time of living you can go on rest and have your own parking space. Yes, continuous inner orgasm is enlightenment. Continuous inner orgasm without break is what I call, not even inner orgasm, inner orgasms, thousands continuously happening is what I call enlightenment. That is why the moment I put my hand on your head, you feel so much of energy. Something is being showered.
Continue our Ananda Gandha and some of these techniques in combination.
I'll give you in the end Anandamaya Kosha. That time we can take up. You see, actually, If you have mastered the Mahamantra, then you change it.
At the end of this, you will give us a kind of a thing that we need to work towards enlightenment.
There is no need even to give. I am not going to give. I am just going to give you the intelligence and the zero TPS experience. So whenever you want, automatically you will remember that zero TPS experience and automatically you will go and reside in it. Over. You don't need to have any technique. Again, the technique may increase the TPS. You will have one more war. I am just going to give you the memory of the zero TPS and glimpse of a zero TPS. Whenever your TPS is high, just it will come up and pull you down to the zero TPS and relax.
No Mahamantra is required.
If you master it, then there is no Mahamantra is required. Actually, if you master this zero TPS, then no technique is required. Otherwise, practice some technique. If you miss it, practice the technique. Inner orgasm should be experienced to experience the outer orgasm. See, the outer orgasm is chemical. It can happen anytime. But the inner orgasm is spiritual. When you create that much of energy, only it happens. How to relate with the brahmacharya? When the inner orgasm happens, you don't need outer orgasm. It is not that you can't have outer orgasm. You don't need outer orgasm. That is when brahmacharya happens. But till the inner orgasm happens, you can never become a brahmachari. You will be only suppressing, celibate, dead, poor fellows. And I think according to me, the worst jivas on the planet Earth is people who have become swamis and not become enlightened. They are the worst jivas. They are the worst jivas, totally in depression and not achieve enlightenment. That's the worst jivas. Unless the inner orgasm happens, the outer orgasm you can never stop aspiring or having desire for the outer orgasm. Celibacy, brahmacharya can never happen. Even if you suppress, it can be only celibacy, never the brahmacharya.
Swamiji, for a Westerner, how can you become a Swami without being enlightened?
That's what. You can't become Swami. Don't become Swami. Better don't.
You saying there are Swamis, right?
Yes, in the East, they are just like monks. They take up this life and they don't get enlightened. There are people like that. There are millions of people like that. Only few handful of Swamis get enlightened.
Most of them are escapists.
Escapism. My vision for new humanity, new kind of beings, maybe it will be materialized in the Anandapuri project. The physical health, all the naturopathy and everything I am trying to bring, and each one will help each other. It will be like helping each other. I am trying to create a humanity which will live with a total love and understanding. Love, joy and understanding. Because that is the main thing which is lacking in the society. Which is lacking in the society. Otherwise, it will become such big force. It will become such big power. And the moment it is successful here, every city people will start. Actually, we can clear ourselves, we can transform our life. Just when we live in the group which believes in one ideology, even you unconsciously will start imbibing all those qualities. Even unconsciously, you see, inside the ashram when you come, you don't fight and search for your place just as you do in the outside. In the house, if you go to some marriage, if you are late for food, what do? First you go and catch your seat and put your kerchief But here nobody does it. Because everybody knows this is the culture here. So the very culture can bring and teach a lot of things to you. You know the food will be available for everyone. You know everyone will be given everything. And second thing, nobody runs. So naturally, you learn the culture. So there are thousands of things which can be learned with a living and loving group.
So here we saw the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism giving insights on various things such as brahmacharya, enlightenment, and the science of living in a group which is integrated to the same ideology. So with this, we're going to move to the next year.
We will now be looking at the 8th of January 2006, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism continued his Varanasi Yatra with the group. On the 8th of January, the group reached the Triveni Sangam of Allahabad. The group, along with Swamiji, took the ferry to the sacred spot of the Triveni Sangam. The Triveni Sangam is the place where the three sacred rivers Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati meet. After quickly setting up the place for all the rituals, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism sat with the group at the Triveni Sangam. Swamiji explained that the three sacred rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, and Saraswati, meet at this place. Ganga stands for wisdom, while Yamuna stands for devotion. When wisdom and devotion merge, enlightenment automatically happens. And here, river Saraswati stands for enlightenment. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has many times spoken about the greatness of the Triveni Sangam in the Prayagraj, where the rivers of Ganga Mata, Yamuna Devi, and Saraswati, all the three rivers meet. And the Saraswati river is not just a physical river, but it comes from below by the conjugation of Ganga and Yamuna. And here we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in the sacred Ganga river in the Triveni Sangam. And we will now be moving on to the next year. Here we can see the pictures of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism offering the prayers, offering the rituals and worship to the Triveni Sangam to Ganga Mata, and in the sacred city of Varanasi in Prayagraj. And Prayagraj is one of the most sacred cities as it is the place where the three rivers meet. And the Kumbh Mela, the Maha Kumbh Mela, happens once in 12 years at this auspicious spot where billions of people come and take bath in the river at that muhurta, that special time when the whole cosmos aligns for that auspicious time where the water is not just physical water but becomes nectar for the whole being to be washed of all the negativity and patterns. And that is why the Mahakumbh Mela is one of the most powerful happenings on planet Earth where billions of people take bath, and it is one of the greatest contributions. This science of identifying these sacred spots is very the science is given by the Vedic rishis and by Paramashiva himself in the Vedas and Agamas.
So we're now entering into the 8th January 2007. The Supreme Pontiff Pontiff of Hinduism conducts monthly tests for all Kailasa and Anandayogam students on various topics from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism Satsang. So here you can see pictures of Kailasa, so people who decided to dedicate their life for the sake of the mission of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, for the sake of the revival of the Sri Kailasa nation, the enlightened civilizational nation ecosystem. So the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, here in the pictures, is conducting tests on the various subjects and topics which he has revealed upon during the daily satsangs. So to test the Kailasa and their ability to grasp the sacred truths which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism reveals on a regular basis.
The next we can see the 8th of January 2008, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducted the Inner Healing Convention for the Adikailaya at Adikailasa Adipitham in Bangalore, India. Here we can see the programs conducted by not just for the devotees, disciples, or the online viewers, but even for the Kailasa all the monks, and the whole Kailasa diaspora, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism directly trains and teaches all the Kailasa in the Adipita in the Bangalore, India. We can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism guiding the Adinavasis, as they are not just the volunteers who have given their lives and doing the seva, but also directly trained by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in every aspect. And many of us who have been Kailasa know, or who are still Kailasa who are enjoying the space of the Salokya Samipya Mukti, all of us know that anything we are doing, whether it just might be the temple rituals or even, let's say, the editing work in the vision department or in the accounts department, anything we do is just to process how Swamiji trains us to move to the higher spaces of enlightenment, breaking our patterns, breaking the negative patterns that we have inside us, and training us constantly to have that space of Advaita and move towards enlightenment. And that is the beauty of just being the Kailasavasi of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
So here in the year 2009, again on the 8th of January, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism meets and blesses the auto drivers in Adi Kailasa. So the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shares how the revival of Sri Kailasa happened, and Swamiji always shares that it is simple integrity, simple hard work, one person at a time, one person at a time, one person at a time. So here you can see, even to the point of receiving the auto driver. The auto, if you are wondering what it is this three-wheeled small car, which is very common in India. So even to the level of receiving the drivers of such cars, blessing them, answering their questions, giving them boons. So the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism works tirelessly and reaches out to literally anyone who is in his breathing space. So here we can see pictures reflecting this dimension of the avatar of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
The next we have the 8th of January 2010, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we can see the Jayanti celebrations where millions, thousands of people have gathered to celebrate the Avatar Dinotsava celebrations of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Here we can see the Arunachala Sarvangapitha, the Trivandamali Adhinam, where we can see the literal crowd, the tens of thousands of people gathered to celebrate the Jayanti celebrations of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And we can also see the chief priests, the priests of the Arilmigu Arunachaleshwara temple in Tiruvannamalai. We can see the chief priests welcoming Swamiji to the temple and giving Swamiji all the respects of the Purnakumbha, the Mala, and on the Avatar Dinotsava, which is the Jayanti of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, thousands of devotees went to the Arunachaleshwara temple to receive the blessings of Bhagavan Paramashiva in the form of the Arunachaleshwara Linga and Devi Apida Kuchambal. And we can see the live satsang, the address of the Jayanti satsang, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism spoke so much about the various topics and blessed all the devotees on this very auspicious day. And we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism giving the satsang to the thousands of devotees, and such a grand celebration happened on the 8th of January 2010 for the Jayanti celebrations. And we will now be moving on to the next year after a short break.
Time itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time, Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Stand. Be a conscious woman or man. Be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself.
Yes, so welcoming everybody back. Let us now move to the year 2011, again on the 8th of January. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, talked on the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, the Sutra number 93. He revealed that any practice that allows the biomemory to know its intimate nature of Satchitananda is not always austerity. It is not always painful. Tapas sometimes is very joyful, happy, doing which you always wanted to do. So here the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on the year 2011 is revealing the authentic knowledge regarding the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. If you are interested to listen to this talk, you can go on Nithyanandopedia, type this day, which is the 8th January 2011, and you would be able to access the link of the YouTube video, of the YouTube channel of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and listen to this talk. So in this talk, one amazing contribution of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to the world is that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism commented and revealed, revealed about many of the main scriptures of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Something which is amazing, since for most of us, especially outside of India, we can only access the translation work of these scriptures. But the problem is that translation can only happens from the space from which the translator is operating, which is not the space of enlightenment. So naturally, these scriptures which were written from the space or revealed from the space of enlightenment, that space of enlightenment cannot be transmitted through translation because, well, literally, they're not translated properly. So that is why having an avatar, having Paramashiva revealing the meaning, the science hidden behind these scriptures is an extreme blessing for us to be able to cognize these scriptures properly and naturally start to experience and radiate them properly as well. So in this talk, Swamiji talks about the fact that tapas or austerity is not always something which leads to suffering or something painful that you have to sustain for a certain amount of time until realization happens. Sometimes tapas is very joyful. You are simply doing what you always wanted to do. So a great revelation. So with this, moving on to the next year.
The next we can see on the 8th of January 2012, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism blesses everyone on Purnima Day in Tiruvannamalai in the Arunachala Sarvangapitha in Tiruvannamalai. We can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism accepting the Pada Puja, which is the sacred offering to the divine lotus feet of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and we can see the Satsang, the address, the Dhyana Satsangam, which is the address, the discourse given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which is attended by more than tens of thousands of people in the Arunachala Sarvangapitha, and we can see the Sarvadarshan, the darshan for all the devotees, disciples, visitors, everyone who came to see Swamiji, to get the blessings of Swamiji. Each and every person got the blessings on the Purnima day. It is a wonderful tradition. During the Purnima, which is the full moon, the devotees come to Tiruvannamalai to circumambulate the Arunachala mountain, as it's very auspicious on the Purnima day to circumambulate the Arunachala hill, which is the body of Paramashiva in the planet Earth, one of the places where Swamiji beautifully says that Arunachala is one of the places, the cosmic airports, where Paramashiva lands and takes the avatar. And even Swamiji, the avatar of Swamiji of Paramashiva as Swamiji landed in the Arunachala mountain and made that as the landing spot for the energy of Paramashiva to take avatar as. And on the Purnima, which is the full moon, thousands of devotees, tens and lakhs of devotees circumambulate the Arunachala hill, do the Pratyaksha, and all those devotees were blessed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And as many of us know, when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism sits for giving the darshan, he does not even get up till the last person has got the darshan, and the darshan would go on for 16-17 hours, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism would wait for each and every person to get the blessing and attend to their healing requests, to their blessing requests and various requests. And this was a very beautiful day on the 8th of January 2012.
Moving on to the next year, the 8th January 2013, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expounds on the nature of Anyakara. Mamakara is how one perceives oneself. Ahankara is how others perceives one. Anyakara describes what others expect from one based on one's self-expression. It is the obligation of every human being to extend himself to meet the expectations of all he encounters and to willingly take up the responsibility of fulfilling those expectations. Always meeting the peak of one's possibility in life completes the Anyakara. It is best to take up this assignment voluntarily, because if it is refused, life will force it upon each individual. So there is no escape. The work will be accomplished, whether willingly or in resistance, and resistance brings suffering rather than satisfaction of a job well done. So here in this satsang, this public discourse, Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, reveals the science of the inner image, outer image, other's image, and life image. So Mamakara being the inner image, Ahankara being the other's image, Anyakara being the Ahankara being the outer image, and the Anyakara being the other's image. So it is extremely important that we take the responsibility of bridging the gap between these images for us to come back to the space of enlightenment and live in the space of eternal bliss, the space of Nithyananda. So the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shares that it is very important for us to stretch ourselves to meet the expectations of others, because whether we want it or not, we will be pushed towards that. So it is wise to move towards it voluntarily rather than waiting for it to be pushed upon you. If you wish to listen to this discourse again, go on Nithyanandopedia on this day. You will be able to access the link and listen to this enlightening talk about this science.
The next we have the 8th of January 2014, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism welcomes the Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada, Maheshwarananda Puriji Maharaj. And we can see in Varanasi, in the sacred land of all the Pithas in Haridwar and Varanasi, we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism meeting the various Hindu leaders and the heads of the Akhadas, which is the oldest apex body of Hinduism, and we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism welcoming all the sadhus and the leaders of Hinduism and literally stitching all the parts of Kailasa together, whether the kingdoms of South India and the kingdoms, the oldest apex bodies of Hinduism in North India, stitching all the leaders of Kailasa together and the whole nation of Kailasa. And we can see Swamiji in the sacred places like Haridwar and Varanasi, meeting the various religious leaders and sharing the interfaith discussion, the discussion on the high truths, and doing the sharing of the truths and building this vision of building Sri Kailasa.
So we are now entering into the year 2015. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shares that Upanishads are the most powerful expansion on living Advaita. Listen, I just feel in front of me, each concept is sitting like a huge hill. I have to climb each hill, explain, and come down, and climb the next hill and explain, and then come down. Because the way, the jnana, whatever is required for you to live Advaita, is explained in the Upanishads. Oh God, such brilliant brains cannot have fantasies, please understand, cannot have delusions. You can never think the brains of the rishis having delusions or fantasies. No, somebody can grasp, understand, and poetically present such a high truths In no way you can accuse them of having fantasies or delusions. This is why I'm telling you, Satchitananda is not delusion. It is as true as your breakfast, as a good night's sleep. If you come and tell me that you had your breakfast just now, I am not going to accuse you of illusion. I know it is a reality, because breakfast is possible, you can eat it. It it would have happened. It is that simple. Please understand, it is that simple. If you come and tell me I had a peaceful sleep, a good night's sleep, I am not going to accuse you, oh, you must have been deluded. Maybe you are in delusion, you are in fantasy. How can you have a good night's sleep? No, a good night's sleep is simply a possibility. So in this talk, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expands on the greatness of the rishis and the revelations that they downloaded in the space of oneness with Paramashiva, in the space of samadhi, and revealed in through the Upanishads. As we know, there are hundreds of Upanishads, and each Upanishads reveals a certain dimension of the ultimate truth. So here, again, if you're interested to listen to this talk, you can go on the social media of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on YouTube and listen to this enlightening talk about the rishis and their contributions in the form of Upanishads.
We will now be entering into the next year, the 8th of January 2016, and we have a wonderful video which gives us the glimpses of 2016. Let us see the short video. Here we saw the wonderful celebrations of the culmination of the Jayanti Mahotsava of the 2015 Jayanti of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and we can see the Utsavams of the Chandikeshwara, which is the deity whom is responsible for the accounts of Kailasa. And after the Brahmotsavam finishes, we offer all our respects and the accounts of everything that has been offered during the Brahmotsavam to the deities, to the presiding deities. And we also saw about the various Abhishekams and the happenings of that day. And we will now be moving on to the next year.
So entering into the next year, 2017, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, expounded on the cosmic principles of manifesting powers during the everyday life talk, the Nithyananda Satsang. During the live public address titled, Become the Hero or Heroine in Your Life by Manifesting Powers, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism welcomed everyone to the first session of Living Sadashivoham and explained the difference between the traditional Vedantic philosophy and the space of Sadashivoham. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained further that traditional Vedantic philosophy is giving up something to have something. When this world disappears, Nirvikalpa Samadhi appears. But Shuddhadvaitam, the truth explained by Paramashiva, by Sadashivoham, in the space of Sadashivoham, is whole. He revealed that powerful truth that one can be in Nirvikalpa Samadhi while operating and doing everyday activities and business, including politics. So here the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in this talk given on the 8th of January 2017, is revealing an extremely important truth about the space of Paramashivoham, the space of pure oneness with Paramashiva, where you can simultaneously be established in the highest of spaces, the space where the highest frequencies of consciousness radiate, while being active in everyday activities, something that normally we hear or we believe not possible, like the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism mentioned, that the Vedantic philosophy focuses a lot on making you cognize that you have to give up something in order to experience something else. But in the space of Shuddhadvaitam, in the space of Paramadvaitam, both are happening simultaneously. And that is the ultimate space revealed by Paramashiva in the Vedas and Agamas. Paramashiva comes in the form of a sincere seeker and disciple in the form of Guru. And through the Guru's grace and the initiation, the space of Paramashivoham can be realized and experienced and expressed. And that is the greatness of this whole thing. And actually, when you are established in the space of Paramashivoham, you are manifesting powers, which is the title of this satsang. Again, become the hero or heroine in your life by manifesting powers, inviting you to type and listen to this enlightening discourse on the YouTube channel of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So with this, before moving on to the next year, we'll be right back after this short break. We'll see you soon.
Time itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time. Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Stand. Be a conscious woman or man. Be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself.
So before moving on to the next year, we'll just have a quick glimpse of the various activities which happened on that day, on the 8th of January 2017. So let us now jump into this short video. Enjoy the various contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on this day. Inner Awakening and Sadashivoham graduates from all over the world gathered to listen to Living Sadashivoham, a special program that happens every Sunday for a certain time period, where Swamiji expands in details about the states of Sadashivoham and whatever was covered during Sadashivoham 2016.
Listen carefully. From whom you receive Shaktipada, Shaktinipata, his experience becomes your biomemory. From my experience, start manifesting powers. You will only grow more and more in integrity and sensitivity, love, non-violence, oneness, all the best things. Because that is what is my experience. When you have Shaktinipada with me, that will only be your biomemory.
On the Vaikuntha Ekadashi, the Vaikuntha Dwaram, or the gate to the Lord's inner sanctum, is open on this day. According to the Vishnu Purana, fasting on Ekadashi is considered holier than any other religious observation. On this day, Vishnu opened the gate of Vaikuntha, his abode, for two demons in spite of their being against him. They also asked for the boon that whomever listens to their story and sees the image of Vishnu coming out of the door, called Vaikuntha Dwar, will reach Vaikuntha as well. Temples all over India make a door kind of structure on this day for devotees to walk through. According to the Padma Purana, the female energy of Vishnu slayed the demon Muran and protect the Devas. This happened on the 11th day of the lunar month during the sun's journey in the Dhanu Rashi. Impressed by the act, Vishnu named her as Ekadashi and gives her the boon that those who worship Ekadashi on the day of her victory over Muran will also reach Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha Ekadashi is one of the most important and auspicious days for Hindus. When observed, it bestows liberation from
Hare Nitya, Hare Hare, Hare Nitya, Nithyananda, Hare Nitya, Hare Hare. गोविंद माधवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद केशवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद माधवा नित्य नारायण गोविंद केशवा.
The third batch of the Nithyananda Yogam participants were introduced and guided through the basics of the two most important dimensions of the Nithyananda Sangha, that is, enriching and causing. They were enriched about how enriching and causing the life of others is the best spiritual activity possible and the best way to contribute to humanity in the revival of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Swamiji always says that the best way to display the authenticity and the greatness of our lifestyle and life's purpose is by showing how much we can contribute to humanity through it.
Nithyananda, my name is Sri Nithya Dhridananda, formerly known as Jordan Kremer. In my past life, I guess I could say. Before coming here, I was a professional ice hockey player, and I recently decided to change my name after seeing what all is happening here, and just everything that I'm experiencing on a daily basis is completely mind-blowing, and it's basically turning everything I understand about my reality and the world completely upside down. What was happening was there's 4 other balasants that were sitting in the corner, and they had a coconut in their hand and start waving at it, gesturing it to move. They were utilizing some sort of energy or some sort of connection, obviously, to Swamiji, and feeling this oneness with this coconut, and it was elevating it, and it was bringing it slowly and slowly higher and higher, and then what they would do is they would tip it all the way over. The first few minutes, we all were just stunned. It was deathly silent in there. It was absolutely an incredible sight to see, and so then the next level became cracking the coconut, and all of a sudden, some 14 coconuts throughout the rest of the evening's manifestation session, 14 coconuts became cracked. What an honor it is to be here, and if anybody out there is, considering coming and experiencing this any of these programs that Swamiji is offering, I highly recommend that you take advantage of that, because ultimately it's not some intellectual understanding. There's something inside you that's saying, hey, this seems right. Let's check it out. Take advantage of this opportunity. Take advantage of the fact that you're sitting here watching this, because if you are, it's a sign. It means something. You're ready for this. Take a jump, and what I always like to say is just jump down and go into the rabbit hole and jump on board and take advantage of these programs that Swamiji is offering.
We will now be looking at the next year, which is the 8th of January 2018, where we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism accepting the Maheshwara Puja from the Inner Awakening participants. The Inner Awakening was going on, and we can see that the Maheshwara Puja, the ritual of the Maheshwara Puja is going on. The Maheshwara Puja is a wonderful ritual where all the participants, everyone connects to the departed souls, and Swamiji does the completion between the participant and the departed soul, and also the completion of the departed soul, where in the new body, where in whichever new body the departed soul has taken birth in, all the karmic baggage just gets cut by Swamiji, and none of the previous birth karmas or the load of the patterns do not cross over, and the departed soul achieves completion, and also completion happens between the participants and the departed souls, and Swamiji and all the sannyasis partake the Pinda Prasada, which is the prasada after offering it to the departed souls. The prasada is partaken by all the monastic members of the sovereign order of Sri Kailasa, and we can see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism personally every single time conducts this ritual to make sure that the completion happens between the participants and the departed souls, and it is a wonderful ritual that happens every single Purnima. So if any of the devotees, viewers would like to, if you would like to offer the Maheshwara Puja, you can feel free to comment in the live chat in any of the social media platforms, and our acharyas will be happy to help you and guide you on how you can make the offering of the Maheshwara Puja.
Moving on to the next year, on the 8th of January 2019, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism blessed all the Paramashivoham participants with a special darshan and initiation. So in the year 2019, the first Paramashivoham program was conducted by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So at the end of each year, there is a kind of a Maha program, a great program which takes place. It starts generally in December, and it carries on to January of the next year. And here, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is giving a special darshan to the participants remotely, as we know that during this time, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism had withdrawn himself from the society, but still making himself available in various forms to people for them to have conscious breakthroughs and experience higher states of consciousness. So here we are having a glimpse of this darshan, which was given to the participants in Adi Kailasa in Bangalore, India.
The next, on the 8th of January 2020, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, expounded on the cosmic principle. What you feel about you doesn't matter. What you decide to cognize about you matters. During the everyday life public address, the Nithyananda Satsang, His Divine Holiness, explained that manifesting life is manifesting powers, and that the ability to forget an old identity is dhira, boldness. His Divine Holiness further expanded that what matters is the cognition, not the feeling, and that cognitions get recorded into your biomemory.
So entering into the final year, last year, 2021, on the 8th of January, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shares with us that the superconscious existence is your primary principle, which supersedes your self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred. Your conscious sankalpa, which is the conscious declaration, your conscious decisions has to manifest. They don't have death. This is only one component which is in you now. Can die is your self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred. Other than your SDHD and delusions based on SDHDs, nothing else has death or end in your existence. Your existence is like an eternal sun, Nitya Surya. Your self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred is like a cloud. Your delusions are like a cloud. Only they have an end. The delusions and self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred, only they have end. Conclusion in your life, not your superconscious existence. So here in this Nithyananda Satsang, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism highlights a very important truth about the difference between our SDHDs, self-doubt, self-hatred, self-denial, and our conscious sankalpas, our conscious declarations, conscious decisions. And Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shares that anything which is done consciously is eternal. Only delusions are ephemeral. So with this, we'll be getting ready to receive the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, to receive the darshan. So let us now sit, neck, head, and spine in a straight line. Close your eyes. Visualize the avatar of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in your Ananda Gandha or your third eye. Inhale deeply.